They are firing at people indiscriminately, using civilian cars without license plates to roam the streets and shoot at the people. There are dozens, maybe even hundreds of people who have been killed today. Yesterday, I was at the Jala hospital to look at the dead bodies and found that most of those killed were shot to the head and chest and in the eyes. The extreme violence used is clear and can be seen on the bodies. It was a frightening sight. People here are living under very tough circumstances. Traffic is impossible to drive through because gunfire being shot by security forces and militias loyal to Gaddafi is adding to the chaos. I cannot even describe the situation to you. The youth are falling dead everywhere. Even for those hiding behind walls, sniper fire can reach them. Eyewitnesses are saying that innocent people are being targeted without having done anything wrong. It feels like an open war zone between protesters and the security forces. And there are mercenaries wearing yellow construction helmets who are attacking people from inside their homes. Our statistics say that more than 200 people have been killed, and there are 700 to 900 injured, at least 30% of whom are in critical condition and could die soon. May God have mercy on them.
Okay, so that's the situation in the eastern city of Benghazi. And earlier we spoke to a resident in the western city of Nalut, and he says that protests have spread there too.
A major protest is taking place now, and clashes have erupted between the residents and the security forces. Cars belonging to the security and intelligence people are seen roaming around. May God have mercy on us. You can hear live gunfire. The situation in Nalut is as follows. Last night, a group of people went out on the street, though the young people were afraid, and there were threats that an army brigade nearby, about 30 kilometers away, will storm the town if we rose up. But tonight, the young people came out in force. We can now see security forces on the streets. They are trying to clash with the youth, and they are shooting at them with live ammunition. 2 government buildings and posters of Gaddafi have been burned down, even his so-called Green Book. As you can hear, the protests are ongoing. We are trying to speak to the security forces because they are part of the people and we want them to support us. They are now burning the cars. We would like to salute our people in Benghazi. They have led the way in this uprising. They have been the spark. We apologize for not supporting them much earlier than now. We are sorry. We would like to salute our people in Benghazi. They have led the way in this uprising. They have been the spark in all this. We apologize for not supporting them much earlier than now. We are sorry. God bless their martyrs and have mercy on them. We salute them. We will continue our struggle till we achieve victory.
Well, a Libyan government newspaper editor has told AlJazeera that the protesters will fail in bringing down the government, and he says the situation in Libya cannot be compared to that of Egypt.
I'm sure that the Libyan House will sit together and these matters will be determined in the coming hours. All attempts to gamble with the security and future of this country will be doomed to failure. There are those with hidden agendas, those who are spiteful and envious. We are not Tunisia or Egypt. We, the Libyan people, are completely different. That is not to belittle other peoples, but we have our own means. Yes, there are many demands. The position is clear with the executive establishment in Libya. Saif al-Islam has a reformist approach. The leader has been urgent for dealing with many matters which you are all aware of.
Moving on to Bahrain, and thousands of people there have returned to Pearl Roundabout, the center of anti-regime protests and the scene of 2 separate attacks by security forces. But police and soldiers have now left the area. The government says that talks with opposition groups are underway, but as James Bays reports from Manama, many protesters say they won't be taking part.
The Pearl Roundabout, the place that's become a symbol of protest in Bahrain, back in the hands of thousands of people. This had for a time become a closed military zone, the place where soldiers had fired live rounds, rubber bullets and tear gas at protesters. When the army were pulled out, it looked as if the riot police would stand firm. As the protesters gathered again, the authorities blocked the routes with barbed wire. An officer tried to address the crowd, but he was drowned out by the chanting. Suddenly, the police line began to move. They'd received new orders and got into their vehicles, starting to drive away. The crowd took their chance. The last policemen were chased off by protesters, armed only with flowers. There was nothing to stop the rush to the Pearl roundabout, and the crowd began celebrating.
After the massacre that has occurred here, the Pearl roundabout holds a very big symbol to all Bahraini peoples over here. It reminds them, it gives them hope for victory.
The army and police have withdrawn. Thousands of people are back at this roundabout. The government may believe they've made concessions which set the stage for talks, but it's clear many of these people don't want to negotiate.
We reject all negotiations because of the blood, what happened here, scattered everywhere. There are a lot of people dead, and we are asking for moving this country, for this government. They don't love their people. Forever, forever, and forever, we will stay here. We will stay here forever, because it's our country.
The protesters are back at the Pearl, but this country's problems are a long way from being solved. The violence of the last few days has only increased the determination of many here to change this country forever. James Bays, Al Jazeera, Bahrain.
Well, riot police have also clashed again with anti-government protesters in Algeria's capital. Officers broke up a rally after thousands gathered in the center of Algiers. Police disrupted a similar rally last week, which was organized to call for better living conditions as well as greater freedoms. Government supporters have also been taking to the streets, adding to the tension.
We have a president. We are not against him. We are not against His Excellency, the President of the Republic.
How can she speak against the march? The president doesn't give us anything. He's a stealer. They're all stealers.
And police in Kuwait have fired tear gas at protesters described as stateless long-term residents. They're demanding citizenship, free education, healthcare and jobs, benefits that are available to all Kuwaiti nationals. Protesters sang the Kuwaiti anthem and chanted slogans such as "We are Kuwaitis." Well, in the wake of its revolution, Egypt has opened its Rafah border crossing into the blockaded Gaza Strip. But for how long? Our report is coming up after the break. Plus,